Good evening and welcome to our coverage of the match between the Charlotte Eagles and the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors from Dixon Field at University of X. The Eagles come into this game at a perfect 6-0 with 18 points on top of the South Atlantic Division of PDL. Virginia Kings Warriors are 8 points behind them with 10 points in second. The Charlotte Eagles played last week and got a 2-0 victory over the West Virginia Chaos here at Dixon Field. The Southern West Virginia Warriors have dropped their last game, but look to be a formidable competition for the Eagles. The Eagles are going to start out tonight in a 4-3-3. Their back line will be roughly the same as normal. Same back line that they've used for their last 4 games with Austin Yearwood, Wallace Abubakar, Scout Monteith, and Mason McCarter across the back. They're going to start out with Amos Amankona and Kyle Cuthbertson and Daniel Timbosh in the midfield off the game. And Williams, Nathan Regis, Nathan Regis and Danny Jensen up top. The Eagles start out just establishing possession. Austin Yearwood with the ball right now. Pass Culbertson. Southern West Virginia made the drive down from West Virginia today and look to jump within 5 points of the Eagles tonight with a win. Dangerous, and it'll go out for an Eagles throw-in in the Kings Warriors territory. The Eagles are employing more of an attacking lineup tonight. They usually start with Jared Odenbeck, who plays more of the traditional number 6 defensive midfield role. They have him on the bench tonight in favor of Amankona and Culbertson, who are smaller but perhaps quicker, more attacking players in the center of midfield. So we'll see how that impacts their strategy and how that impacts the game. It looks like they're trying to play more of an up-tempo style. Kings Warriors throw it in, and Amankona wins the aerial ball, and it'll go out for an Eagles throw-in. Abubakar has the ball and comfortably in Eagles territory. Yearwood has it out. William Pyle is getting the start tonight in goal. His brother James Pyle is the normal number 1 keeper for the Eagles. But William played last week against the Chaos and earned an honorable mention spot on the PDL Team of the Week after earning a shutout and 4 saves against the Chaos in the. He's the younger brother, but very in his own right. He plays at the University of Nevada and played at Audrey Kell High School here in Charlotte before that, as did his brother James. Kings Warriors benefit from a mistake there, and they're in dangerous territory, but Wallace Abubakar clears it out. And the Kings Warriors are just going to look to reset here. The Eagles look to be sitting back a little bit, just letting the game come to them the first couple minutes. And just the one thing that they don't want to do here is let up an early goal. Kings Warriors play a aerial ball over to the corner, and they take it to the middle and try to fire a shot, and Amankona gets in the way of it. And the Eagles are on the Culbertson with a outside of the foot pass that's intercepted by a Southern West Virginia defender. And William Pyle collects it for the Eagles. The Eagles are just passing it around the back right now, seeing if they can find a hole in the Warriors' defense, but pretty organized so far tonight. It's been a pretty conservative game so far, with the first 5 minutes of any game. That was Daniel Timbosh, who just dropped back into the defense. He was also a honorable mention for the team of the week after last weekend against the Chaos. He has 3 goals for the Eagles so far this year. Timbosh plays for Loma College, or not, out in California. The Eagles have gotten 3 of their players, and the Eagles look to press it here with Masa Mancona, and they're just going to drop it back to Mason McCarter. And they play it across Austin Yearwood. Scout Monteith and Lawless Abubakar have been a very solid center back pairing for the Eagles so far. They have started and played every minute in every game for the Eagles and have come to a 6-0 start. They're the only team in the entire PDL that started out 6-0 and can have been done without their center backs. Oh, the nice 1-2 there between Zavante Wilson. Wilson dribbling it down the left flank, and he's going to try to cut in and finds Daniel Timbosh right at the top of the box, plays it to Danny Regis, but it's scooped up by Kings Warriors keeper Alex Geyer. It's a nice attack for the Eagles, though. They're starting to really force the issue on the Kings Warriors, and a good job cutting in by Will Culbertson there, and good run by Robinson, who is starting on the side tonight for the Eagles. He's started some of the games up top or in the center striker role, but is known for his work rate and putting pressure on. And the Kings Warriors take a shot there. That was number 26, Costa Marizo, but it's gonna go wide and not test William Pyle. Looks like the game's starting to open up now. Both teams starting to get some opportunities. The Eagles possession here, playing short, safe passes, and while Salvi Bacher's carrying it into the midfield, finds Daniel Timbosh. He's going to stay up. Daniel Timbosh plays it to Danny Regis, but a last-second Kings Warriors defender. That was number 21. I think it was a good tackle and really dangerous play. He had Nathan Regis making a run towards the one. He would have had the Kings Warriors defender there to force it out for a corner kick. Amos Amancona is going to take this one. Plays it in with his right foot. And Daniel Timbosh went up for, they're going to call him for going back. That was Scout Monteith, actually, who's wearing the captain's armband tonight for the Eagles. Set pieces can be dangerous, but the Kings Warriors did a good job of defending that one. And it's going to be the Kings Warriors get a foul there. It was committed again by Monteith. And they just look to possess it. They're going to ping it around their back and look for an opening in the Eagles' defense. Amos Amancona doesn't have numbers, but he's going to try to take it. He's going to drop it back in the midfield now. And some nice footwork there by Amancona. Plays it to Austin. And back to the Eagles do a nice job of replacing each other. And when a defender goes up to attack, they always have a midfielder that can drop back into his role. Football style that's helped them to such a good start this year. As Amancona plays it back to Abubakar. They are teammates at Dayton University, and they're both of Ghanaian nationality. The only two African for the Eagles. had a big impact on the team. That's a nice win in the air by Austin Yearwood there, and we're going to take it up, and Mauricio Costa, who's been all over the ball, Kings Warriors, but the Eagles are able to dispossess the ball now, and he plays it back to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr plays it out to Mason McCarter, who plays for State University, and Amancona's on the ball now. He's seen a lot of the ball so far. Plays it back to his teammate, Abu Bakr. The Kings Warriors have done a good job so far of playing a high pressing high with their forwards, which has kept the Eagles back in their own half. The Eagles have kept a lot of possession, but have struggled to really get it into the Kings Warriors' final third as that ball from Amankona goes safely into the arms of keeper Alex Geyer. Trying to start there was Amankona, but Kings Warriors picking around, and now they press high and they get a turnover. That was Austin Yearwood playing it to Daniel Timbosh, but the Kings Warriors were able to get on top of that. And it's Costa again, but he's dispossessed, and now it's Daniel Timbosh who's going to dribble to the center and find his teammate Kyle Culbertson. And a foul is committed by the Kings Warriors. It's going to be an Eagles free kick. Culbertson's going to play it out. A nice ball out to Danny Jensen. Danny Jensen's trying to shield it, and he gets a three. And they find Nathan Regis just at the edge of the box, and Danny Jensen plays it in, but the Kings Warriors are on top of it. That looked pretty dangerous, though. The Eagles are starting to find holes in the Kings Warriors offense, but it's still 0-0 here in Charlotte. And the Eagles are just going to reset it now. And Austin Yearwood has it. He's the left back, and he plays at High Point University. He is from Charlotte and played at Audrey Cale High School as well. Daniel Timbosh has it, but is dispossessed, and they're not going to call a foul there. And it's Kyle Culbertson now. He plays it out wide to Wilson, who has 2 assists on the season, and he's going to cut it into the box. This is dangerous, and plays it in, but there's no Eagles there. It was a good left-footed ball into the center of the box, but the Eagles were not able to get a foot on it, and it's going to be the Warriors' ball as they take it into the midfield. Nathan Regis pressuring. And the Kings Warriors have it in safety now, and they have it to number 22. This is yep. It's going to be a Kings Warriors throw in here in the Eagles territory. It's a long throw, barely into the box, and Kings were up, and they're dispossessed by the Eagles, but they get it back in a shot, but it falls away, but it's going to go off to the right. So a good attempt by number 9 on the wall. Austin Yearwood with the ball. He started every game for the Eagles at left back and has done so very well. He has 1 assist on the season in the season opener, which was a 5-0 win for the Eagles to start off the year against South Carolina United. And it's Abubakar again with the ball, and he's going to dribble it into the midfield. This is a nice dribble, and Abubakar has it in a dangerous position. The center back comes up, and he takes a shot, and it's on frame, but it's saved by Kings Warriors keeper Alex Geyer, who's made several saves already. But that was a nice run by Lalas Abubakar, and he's going to have to track back now because the Kings Warriors are counterattacking. They have it on the left flank, and it's Costa again, and he's going to find his defender, who's going to – that's number – they still have the ball, and they're really forcing the issues on the Eagles now, who have 10 men behind the ball in their own territory. Now it's 9, but they're really forcing the Eagles to play defensively. That was a very nice counterattack off that shot by Abubakar. The Eagles doing a good job communicating defensively, and the Kings Warriors play a ball into the right corner. They have it at the corner flag, but it's going to go out for a throw-in after it was mishandled. But the Eagles are not out of danger yet. It's going to be a dangerous throw-in if they're not able to keep possession and get it out of their own half. But they're able to send it on to Nathan Regis, who plays it back to Amos Amankona, and he's going to find Scout Monteith, who's just going to reset it and play it to Mason McCarter. It's a good ball from Austin Yearwood, trying to Regis, but it's cleared away by the Kings Warriors defender. Throw it in and finds Kyle Culbertson in a dangerous area, plays it back to Devontae Wilson, and he's going to he just plays it into a defender in the box, and it's a counterattack. That's going to be number 11, Jorge McKenna, who finds Kings Warriors. Lalas Abubakar is able to dispossess him and finds Amankona, who plays it back to Scout Monty, who plays at Lipscomb University in Tennessee. And Warriors able to possess it in their own half. Back to starting center back, Malia. Full chances, but it looks like the Kings Warriors and the Eagles are trying to possess it early, and Eagles have had a bit more possession, but the Kings Warriors have played this game have played far and have been in position and haven't given the Eagles a whole lot of room to create anything. But the Eagles have done a good job of possessing. It's still 0-0 here. Mason McCarter has it, and he's going to find Danny Jensen over on the right. And back to Abubakar. He's got a lot of time, and he finds Amos Amankona, who takes a tight turn, and is going to find Mason McCarter out on the right. Plays it into Tim Bosch, but that's back to McCarter. Tim Bosch got tripped up there a little bit, but it looks like they're not going to call anything. It'd be kind of incidental. And Yearwood finds Wilson, who tries to flick it around to the Kings Warriors defender, but he was up to the task. And Amankona plays it out of the air and finds Austin back to Abubakar. And Kyle Culbertson turns and finds Ohio State teammate Danny Jensen, who's cutting in from the right side. And that could have been a penalty, but they called it the other way. That's very interesting. And they're going to cut card on Danny Jensen there. Didn't see exactly where that would maybe tripped a guy when he's going in, but it looked like he was just on the ball, but they're going to call a yellow card there. Jensen has not been booked so far this season. And so the Kings Warriors are going to have a free kick, which is going to be played by goalkeeper Alex Geyer, who is so far of keeping the ball out of the net for the Kings Warriors. This is the first PDL matchup between the Kings Warriors, who will play each other 2 more times in quick succession here in the PDL schedule. But because this is the Eagles' first year in PDL, as William Pyle is able to collect that and finds Kyle Culbertson The two teams have never played each other in league play, and they try to. And Nathan Regis is able to get the ball, and he's going to find Daniel Timbosh, which has been a good combination for the Eagles, and finds Devontae Wilson out on the left. Finds Amasa Mancona. They're just going to play it back and reset it as Lois Abubakar finds Scout Monteith. And they're just going to swing around the back. But that was good by the Eagles. They look like they're trying to create, trying to get it into the Kings Warriors territory and make something happen. But the Kings Warriors are able to snuff out that attack and get the possession back. The Charlotte Eagles just returned last week from a trip to Kingsport, Tennessee, where they ran a camp up there and then culminated the week with their match against the West Virginia Chaos, which of course was a 2-0 victory. But they've been back in Charlotte the last week preparing for this game. That match counted as a home game because the Eagles did host it. As Devontae Wilson's going to cut in on his right foot. It's Danny Jensen who's running, and he's going to not be able to go out for a goal kick, but that was a good run and a good find by Devontae Wilson. Wilson does a good job on that left end flank of just cutting in on his dominant right foot, and he's been able to be pretty creative from there. He's had 2 or 3 times this game where he's been able to cut in and find teammates who are making runs at the goal. I think they're going to call a foul on the Kings Warriors there. And Monteith just plays it to Bubakar, who finds Austin Yearwood. Yearwood finding Wilson, and that's dispossessed by Costa of the Kings Warriors. And the Kings Warriors are going to counter here. They've done that pretty well here, as they've done a good job of countering, and it's going to be number 12, Lucas Kusoft, who finds Costa down on the right flank for the Kings Warriors, and this is dangerous. He plays it in, and the Kings Warriors striker receives it, but Abu Bakr did a good job of defending, and it's back at the Kings Warriors on the right end, and the Kings Warriors wanted a foul there, but that was good defense by the Eagles as they were able to get it out for a throw-in. And it looks like they're going to get it out of this. And it's Kyle Culbertson who turns over the ball. And now the Kings Warriors on a counterattack again, but it's mismanaged by number 9, Oyinaka Lawal. And the Eagles are going to try to counterattack, and it's Danny Jensen with that signature headband, protective headband, and he's able to keep the ball and kind of out of position here. He's usually on the right side, but run over to the left. And Amos Amankona with the ball now. It looks like he got kind of cleated on the ankle there, but there's no foul. And back to Amankona in the center. And it's back to Dayton teammate Loss Abubakar, who finds left back Austin Yearwood running, and Austin's going to be able to save it and keeps it in on the corner. It looks like he almost balanced that on the corner flag, but he plays it in benignly to goalkeeper Alex Geyer. But that was a very nice ball by Moncona, finding his left back. And the Kings Warriors play an aerial ball into the Eagles half, but the Eagles had numbers, and it's Las Abubakar again, and he finds Scout Monteith and Kona back to Monteith, but he's not. The ball is a bit errant, and it goes out for a Kings Warriors throw-in in dangerous area. Give the ball away. Scout Monteith defending. Eagles might have numbers here. They're going to get some guys up, and Devontae Wilson was making a run, but Daniel Timbosh wasn't able to find him. Danny Jensen's done a good job so far of tracking back and helping with the defense, even though he's a forward. And the Kings Warriors find number 11, and that's a nice little 1-2. long shot, but it goes over and away as it'll be a goal kick for Eagles keeper Will Pyle. Took that from about 30 yards out. That would have been a very impressive shot. He did have a lot of space, but I guess the Eagles were content with him shooting from there. Then it's going to be Mason McCarter. Just controlling the ball over on the right and finds Danny Jensen, who's tracking back again. He's trying to get involved. Kyle Culbertson is going to try to play a long ball, but it's intercepted by Kings Warriors defender. And they tried to get on the counterattack, but Daniel Timbosh was there to intercept it. But the Kings Warriors have retained possession, and they're going to cut. Their player's going to cut in on his right foot. But Kyle Culbertson was able to get in the way of that pass. And it's Culbertson back to Alancona. And it looks like the Eagles are able to keep possession once again and avoid a surge by the Kings Warriors as Alancona tried to play it to Jensen out wide, but it's intercepted once again by the Kings Warriors. The Eagles have tried to play a lot of long balls. It was a nice 1-2 by the Kings Warriors, and it looks like, good shot, but Lalas Abubakar did a great job of getting in the way of that shot as the Kings Warriors are able to retain possession. Oh, and they're going to call a foul there. Monteith was all over his back, and that's going to be a dangerous direct kick just outside of the box over on the right side. Be a good spot for a right-footed player to just curl it over the wall, and could be a dangerous spot. Will Pyle will have to be up to the task if they're able to put it on frame here, and looks like they're going to line up two players behind the ball. Can't tell who that is who's going to take it. And it looks like the Eagles are going to line up a 5-man wall to try to get in the way of this shot. They have two guys there to the Kings Warriors, so we'll see which one of them takes it. It's going to be the first. Oh, it was a good chance for the Kings Warriors, but Lalas Abubakar was able to clear it off the line. I'm not sure if Will Pyle would have gotten there, but they had good cover there, and that was a nice little cheeky ball to beat the wall there, and a dangerous opportunity, but to get away, and they're going to try to counter here as Alancona and Jensen exchange it. And it's just going to play it to safety over on the other end to Austin Yearwood. It's a pretty hot day out here earlier, but we had some rain showers kind of cooled off the turf, and it's a bit more mild than it has been the rest of the week, and fortunately this is artificial turf, so the field didn't really suffer because of it, as it's now just partly cloudy, but ultimately a pretty nice day for soccer. It's been record temperatures here in Charlotte as Austin Yearwood gives the ball away, and Nathan Reed just works hard to try to poke it away from the Kings Warriors, and almost does, but they were able to retain possession in the back and are going to once again try to make something happen. Forward, a little wall, and it looks like they're going to call the foul on. He might get a booking here from the ref. No, I think it's just going to be a warning. It looks like the two guys are stabbing a little bit, but Bubakar gives him a handshake, just good sportsmanship. And Will Pyle plays it safely to Austin Yearwood. That was dangerous there by Lawal, though, and Austin Yearwood's going to take it up the left side and just trying to get it to Daniel Timbosh. Kings Warriors intercept it, and now they're on the counterattack again. They flip that switch pretty quick. They've done that several times this game, and it's Lawal on the ball now, and he finds McKenna, who's just gonna play it back, and the Kings Warriors maintain possession. It looks like they're playing a 4-3-3 with a definite number 6 role, whereas the Eagles are playing one with 2 holding mids and an attacker. And Kyle Colbert maintain his position on the ball and finds Timbosh back to Amancona, and he plays it over the top. That's a great ball to Danny Jensen. Let's see if the Eagles in the the dangerous area, and Jensen plays it around him and plays it into the box, but it's cleared away by number 3, Leah of the Kings Warriors, and it's called a corner kick. Yeah, corner kick, and it's going to be Kyle Culbertson who's going to try to make something happen on this corner for the Eagles. It's as they are almost through the first half hour school chances, but both back lines have been superb, and Culbertson's left foot is a low-driven, knocked away by the Kings Warriors defense. I think the Kings Warriors saw that coming and were prepared for it. It's back to it in, and he plays it over the top, and that forced Alex Geyer to go up and make a save. Devontae Wilson was going to try to get a head on it. It was a pretty dangerous ball, but Geyer seemed confident and was able to get up and take that one out of the air. And the Kings Warriors, once again, are able to avoid the danger. And that's another aerial ball, but Las Abu Bakr got it away. It looks like they were trying to go at McKenna again. And Amankona has the ball. And Tim Bosch, who is having a good last couple weeks. Oh, they play it up to Nathan Regis, but Alex Geyer comes off of his line and knocks it away towards that press box to safety, and it'll be an Eagles throw-in. Geyer did a good job of not hesitating to that and getting it away before Nathan Regis could make something happen for the Eagles. The Eagles throw it in here, and Nathan Regis tries to possess it with the bottom of his foot out of bounds, and it's going to be a Kings Warriors throw. That looks like a wall again, and he's going to find that Costa, who's going to cut in from his position on the right, and he takes a shot with his left foot, but Las Abu Bakr makes another save, and that's probably the fourth shot that looked like it was going to be on frame that he was able to knock away before it got to the goal and tested Will Pyle, who's only had to make 1 or 2 saves in this first half hour. Alex Geyer for the Kings Warriors been much busier, and the Kings Warriors take it, and it's going to be a cross in, and the wall was almost able to get a right foot on it, but didn't quite get there. He had a lot of space in front of him and could have settled it and taken it to a pretty dangerous place, but the Eagles are able to maintain possession, and that's going to be a foul against the Kings Warriors. Danny Jensen tried to take it down the line and was undercut by the Kings Warriors. No card, just a good foul. And Mason McCarter's going to take the free kick and just play it safely to Jensen, who plays it back to McCarter. And Scout Monteith has plenty of time on the ball and plays it to Las Abubakar. And they swing it all the way around to Yearwood. And back to Abubakar. And just the short passing has been working pretty well for the Eagles, who have been able to maintain possession. And Yearwood's going to take it up from his defensive position and take 2 defenders on, and is able to draw a throw in. And he'll take the throw in and play it to Kyle Culbertson and Amos Amankona. And the Kings Warriors are pressuring hard with 2 or 3 guys there, but Jensen out wide, who plays it back in, and Amankona might have a shot at this. He takes a shot, but it's blocked, and another shot by Devontae Wilson, but it is saved by Alex Geyer. Forced a diving save low on the ground. It was a good hit by Wilson to put it on frame and make the keeper work. And that was nice quick passing there by the Eagles to get an open shot and then another one. And Danny Jensen comes from behind, and I'm surprised they didn't call a foul there. He kind of jumped on it, but I guess he got mostly the ball. And Scott Monteith is able to get a head on. The wall is pressuring hard, and now the Kings Warriors, he's going to take it 1-on-3, but Monteith was able to get a foot there in the nick of time and knock it away, and now it's going to be Austin Yearwood for the Eagles. And he plays it to Amos Amankona, who has done a good job of checking to the ball throughout this. Doesn't have a lot of size, but he's very quick and is a good passer for a lot of good things this season. And Javonte Wilson has it over on the left, and he's going to try to cut in on his right foot, and he plays it, but it goes over everyone. Danny Jensen was trying to get there, and he tries to save it, but it's going to go out for a goal kick. And Southern West Virginia has been a very tough opponent for the Eagles here tonight. They have several guys that have tested the Eagles' back line, and their back line has been very good in its own right, as the Eagles just haven't had a lot of time in the final third to do what they want to do. Jensen's able to test the Kings Warriors there and finds Kyle Culbertson, who seems to have some time. Culbertson's coming off a bit of an injury, but played last game and scored in the second half on a penalty kick to kind of ice the game against Chaos out in King. And Austin Yearwood's going to play a nice left-footed ball over to Danny Jensen on the right side. Nice driven ball, but he's just Kings Warriors defense. And they're going to find Lawal, who's been dangerous at that center striker role. He's got a lot of size, and he's able to knock off Masa Mancona, and he doesn't really have numbers, but he's going to try to run at the Eagles defense, or now he's just going to play it back to number 22, who's playing that center defensive mid role right in front of the back four. They play a lofted ball into the center. Oh, and Lalas Abubakar, I think, thought Will Pyle was going to come out to that, or maybe he thought that was going to go over and started shielding a bit early, and that could have been dangerous for the Eagles, but went over the line for a goal kick anyway, and Will Pyle's going to take it here for the Eagles. And Jacob Dunnett is going to be the backup keeper for the Eagles tonight. So James Pyle, the normal starter who plays his college soccer at North Carolina, has the night off and avoids the Kings Warriors defender, and now has a lot of time inside and finds Tim Bosch, who plays it back, and a nice little 1-2 again, but they're dispossessed. And now Nathan Regis has his first real time on the ball all night. He hasn't had a lot of the ball as I think the Kings Warriors have been keying on him, and now it's Jensen playing it back to McCarter. Jensen has the ball again, and he finds who has a chance to cross it in, but the Kings Warriors got a good head to it, and they get it away. Javonte Wilson's pressuring there and forces the turnover. Culbertson wins the header, but it's going to be out again as McKenna finds his teammate, and now it's Lawal at that striker role, and he finds that might be Costa over on the left side as he's running at the Eagles, and he beats Sam Blackman, who leads the Kings Warriors in goals this year, but it's Lalas again with a tackle. He's had an excellent first half for the Eagles, and he finds who has plenty of time, but not a lot of support as the Eagles are just trying to regroup and reset their offense. As now it's Danny Jensen who plays it back to Amankona, and he's going to play it to Kyle Culbertson. And Culbertson plays it to Yearwood, who's got a lot of time, but they're pretty deep in that Kings Warriors defense, and he's going to overlap Javonte Wilson, who plays it back to him, and he might be able to get a cross in. He cuts it over onto his right foot and plays a good, decent right-footed cross over to Jensen, who's going to try to head it back in towards the center, but the Kings Warriors win that ball in the air. Daniel Timbosh was going up for it, but it didn't quite have the size. But Kyle Culbertson's going to win that ball with his feet and find Lalas Abubakar. And they're going to reset it again. It's back to Culbertson, who turns and finds Amas Amankona. And Amankona plays it out wide to Danny Jensen. Nice lofted ball. And McCarter's overlapping, but he's going to play it in and wasn't quite able to find Daniel Timbosh there. It was knocked away by Josh Bender, who's playing that central midfield role right in front of the defender, right in front of the back four. And Costa is able to find McKenna, who plays it back to Costa. And he was able to find Blackman, who has been active for the Kings Warriors, especially on those counterattacks. And the Kings Warriors have it, but and that was a nice move knocks it over onto his left foot. That was cost, I believe, in the wall. He's trying to keep the ball, and Monteith almost knocked it out of bounds, but they retain it, and they cross it into the area, but Devontae Wilson recovers and is able to get ahead on that one to hit it away from safety. But that was almost a very nice 1-2 between number 12, Lucas Kosevelt, and I believe that's Sam Blackman, or maybe that was Costa. That was a pretty creative 1-2 there over on the right side, but the Eagles were up to the task. As Will Piles just going to take a goal kick here. He's been hitting his goal kicks pretty well so far tonight. And Blackman was able to win that one and knock it off of Kyle Culbertson, and it looks like it's going to be a Kings Warriors throw. And Kusavet plays it back to his center back, number 3, Jordan Malia. But Tim Bosch is able to dispossess him and finds Nathan Regis, who turns and plays it with the outside of his foot to Zuvante Wilson, who's going to try to cut in again. Oh, and that could be a penalty. Oh, they're not going to call it. That was a close call. Could have definitely, the Eagles are appealing for a penalty. They almost had him beat and kind of got knocked down in the box, but I think they're just going to say he got him with his shoulder and that both guys were going in for it. There's a very good chance for the Eagles there, though. And Zavante Wilson has the ball again after that creative play, and he's going to run at the same guy. Oh, and he's knocked down again, but they're once again not going to call it. That time I think he got his arms on him, but the ref says no call, and it's going to be Kings Warriors ball again as Sam Blackman carries it into the midfield. Those were 2 plays in succession that the Eagles definitely wanted penalties on, and Sam Blackman's going to try to run onto this ball, but Zabi Bakker is kind of almost toying with him, and lets it go back to Will Pyle. And Pyle throws it with that left hand out to Mason McCarter. And Regis finds Danny Jensen on the outside. And it's knocked away, and they're going to call that a Kings Warriors throw. Warriors definitely have part of their strategy has been to get more men behind the ball than the Eagles, as the Eagles haven't had a lot of opportunities where they had man advantages, where it's usually about 7 defenders to 5 or 4 Eagles attackers when the Eagles try to bring it into the final third. They've done a good job of getting guys behind the box, and now it's going to be Sam Blackman who's carried it in, and it's a bit of a confusion there for the Kings Warriors. And now he's going to take a shot, but Will Pyle is up to the task and knocks it over the crossbar, and it's going to be a corner kick. It wasn't far from him, but it took good reactions there by Pyle to just get a hand or two to that right-footed shot, and I think that might have been the wall that just cut in on his right foot on the left side of the box, and all the Kings Warriors. That was one of the best opportunities that either team have had, and it's going to be a corner here. The Kings Warriors send it into the box, but Lawless Abu Bakr once again heads it away, and Danny Jensen's going to pressure hard, but the Kings Warriors are able to keep it, as it looks like number 20, Ben Claris for the Kings Warriors finds Lil Wall, who's tracking back from that striker role, and Sam Blackman mishandles it, and now it's going to be Nathan Regis, and let's see if the Eagles can counterattack here. No, he gives it away, and it's going to be number 22 once again, Josh Bender. And they play a lofted ball over to the left side, and that might be Blackman again. He plays. That's Blackman actually that just received it, but he turned it over, but the Eagles gave it away immediately. And that was a nice move, nice little step over by number 25, and tried to find. I believe that was the Kings Warriors, and the Kings Warriors defender Jordan Malia is going to bring it in, but he plays a not very dangerous ball into goalkeeper Will Pyle, who trying to get his team to reset, and now picks it up, and Wallace Abubakar is going to track back, and he wants the ball, but he's going to throw it out to Austin Yearwood over on the left side, and Yearwood connects again with Wilson, back to Yearwood. And they swing it around the back, and now it's Amankona back to Mason McCarter, and now Amos Amankona on the ball again. Plays a right-footed ball to Daniel Timbosh, who retreated back nicely from that number 10 role, and he's going to try to play Nathan Regis, who crosses it in, but Malia was up to the task there for the Kings Warriors and knocks it away. It's going to be a throw-in for the Eagles, and Jensen plays it into Regis, who plays it back to Jensen. Tried to get a cross in there, but it was intercepted by one of the Kings Warriors defenders, and Lawal is going to play to Blackman, and this could be dangerous for the Kings Warriors, but being Tim Bosch, and that was a nice ball, and Lawal almost got onto that, but it was Amos Amankona getting back defensively for the Eagles and knocking it away for a Kings Warriors throw. It's a very good ball by Sam Blackman there, though, and he's been dangerous several times for the Kings Warriors, who are trying to just muster some kind of attack. They've done really well in the counterattacks. It looks like they're kind of playing a bit more of a defensive strategy, but they've definitely gotten a lot of guys forward on several occasions, especially counterattacks. And they're going to play it in. Oh, and that's a nice turn. Oh, but Willard Pyle makes a great save. He almost got a shot away, and that would have been really dangerous as he had it almost at the 6-yard box. But Will Pyle gets out and snuffs it away before he's able to really and have a shot on goal. And whistle blows here, and I think they might. They're saying that he took the throw in from an advanced position, and they're going to back him up here. Still Kings Warriors throw. It's a good save by Pyle. It would have been tough for the Eagles to go into halftime with a 1-0 lead. Oh, that was a good shot by, that may have been Costa, but it goes wide to the left, and Will Pyle just watched it sail past. I think he would have been on that if it had been on frame, but still, the Kings Warriors are testing him, and that will be halftime. That'll be halftime, and it's 0-0. Both teams done very well defensively so far, and it'll be a scoreless first half, and we'll see what happens in the second half. And we're back for the second half at Dixon Field. Scored 0-0 between the Charlotte Eagles and the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors after a defensive first half. There were several chances for both teams, but the back lines for both teams looked pretty good in the first half, and it looked pretty clear that the Kings Warriors are just trying to put in a really good defensive performance tonight. They've had a lot of numbers behind the ball throughout the game. And that's posed a lot of issues for a lot of problems for the Eagles, who are trying to get something going offensively and have had several chances and have passed the ball very nicely throughout the game and have done a good job of establishing possession, but haven't quite been able to break through that Southern West Virginia defense and get a goal here. So it's knotted at 0 to start the second half, and it doesn't look like there are going to be any substitutions for either team here at halftime. I would suspect with each team loaded with 6 subs, allowed to have 6 subs rather than 3 like in FIFA competitions, that both teams pretty soon, especially on a relatively hot night tonight here at the Queens Sports Complex. Oh, I was wrong. There is going to be a sub. It looks like Jaron Odenbeck is going to go in for Daniel. No, that's going to. Yeah. Maybe Zavante Wilson. Yeah, Zavante Wilson's going to come out and make way for Jared Odenbeck. So what I would imagine is that Jared Odenbeck is going to start playing a more traditional center defensive mid role right in front of that back four, which is performed admirably tonight for the Eagles. And Culbertson and Amankona are going to be given a little bit more freedom to get forward and attack more, and that could be the difference, as the Eagles had a hard time getting numbers towards the goal. And as the second half starts out here, the Kings Warriors kick off and have it, and they swing it around the back. Also a change for the Eagles is that Daniel Tenbosch moved from that center attacking mid-roll to left forward where Zavante Wilson had. The Eagles still are going to play a 4-3-3, it looks like, but rather than having 2 holding and 1 attacking, they're going to have 1 holding midfielder being the new substitute Jared Odenbeck, and they're going to move Amankona and Culbertson up. This is the first game of the season that Odenbeck hasn't started. He is a local product from who went to Charlotte Christian but played for North Memphis Academy team, as the Kings Warriors get on it pretty quick there, but William Pyle collects it. Odenbeck plays his college soccer at Wake Forest and has done a really good job in front of that back four throughout all season, winning a lot of balls and keeping possession in there for the Eagles. Scott Monteith's going to have to travel for that ball, and he's not able to get it. Lawless Abubakar, who played a really good first half, plays a bad pass to him. Like the Kings Warriors are going to have a throw in the Eagles territory. And they throw it in, and it's going to be Lawal, who's being defended by multiple people, and Scott Monteith's able to get in front of that shot, but Lawal's going to take another one, and it's off of Jared Odenbeck for a corner kick. Good positioning there by the second half substitute, and it's going to be a corner kick for the Kings Warriors. Sam Blackman takes the kick, and it's tried to play a short kick, and it went off of Mason McCarter, who was kind of playing in that short. Going to be another kick that Sam Blackman's going to once again take, and he's going to try to drive it in with his right foot. Plays it a bit higher this time, and it's out to the top of the box. But the shot by Josh Bender sailed. He was trying to take a shot on goal from about 22, 23 yards out. He had plenty of space, but I think the Eagles are once again content to let them take those long shots, confident that if they do put it, goalkeeper William Pyle will be able to handle the long shots, and it worked out pretty well as that shot went way over the bar. And the Eagles are back on the attack now. Austin Yearwood with the ball, and he plays it over to Mason McCarter, who has to track over to the right to get it. Danny Jensen cuts in, and that was a good dispossession there by the Kings Warriors, who they actually have numbers here, and Oh, good job by number 13 Monty to get to it. But oh wow, they play a ball into the center, but it's knocked away, and Odenbeck gets there, and now it's Mason McCarter on the ball. But it looks like they're in attacking positions here, and they're pressing a lot more guys, and they are going to try to get a goal here. Oh wow, that was a very nice move by the Kings Warriors forward, and Sam Blackman moves on. Oh wow, he almost put that on frame. It was a nice shot, low and to the left, and it just barely missed the goal, just left of that post. It looked like Will Pyle might have been up to it, but definitely challenged him there. And the Kings Warriors are, from the get-go, playing a lot more offensively than they were in the first half. So we'll see how that impacts the game. And Jared Odenbeck plays it out wide to Mason McCarter. And I think the Eagles are back into their rhythm now. But that was quite a scare, as the Kings Warriors had two corners, and then that very close shot by Sam Blackman that almost gave them their first deficit of the entire season. Scott Monteith plays it over to Mason McCarter. McCarter's just going to play it safe to Culbertson. And it looks like Culbertson's playing a bit more of a holding role, but Amas Amancona's had a lot more freedom to get forward this half, as Austin Yearwood tried to cut it, and now it's Amancona who, he almost found Daniel Timbosh there, but he wasn't quite there. Danny Jensen over on the right, and he's going to try to beat Ben Claris for the Kings Warriors, but Claris was up to it. And Culbertson's just going to play it safe back to Lassa Bubakar, who was in on a lot of tackles and deflected a lot of shots in that first half. He was a really key component for the Eagles' back line there. And it's a Bubakar again with the ball. And the Kings Warriors have it again with... and it's going to be a foul against the Charlotte Eagles, so it'll be a Kings Warriors ball. I think they called it on Amas Amancona. Oh, and that's a dangerous ball, but the Kings Warriors were able to get it away. He almost, on the back pass to his center back, almost played it too softly, and Nathan Regis was trying to get onto that. And Amas Amancona now has it in a dangerous position, and he plays a good ball over to the left for Daniel Timbosh. He's going to run at the Kings Warriors, and he's going to knock it away for a goal kick. The Kings Warriors defender there just got a foot to it and knocked it back off of Timbosh, who was trying to knock it in, but went off of his leg, and it'll be a goal kick for Alex Geyer, who made 3 saves in the first half off of 6 shots by the Eagles. The Kings Warriors actually got more shots than the Eagles in the first half. They had 9 shots, but only forced 2 saves from Eagles keeper William Pyle. Did seem like Geyer was very active in the first half, though. Some of those crosses he came out and received, and balls he had to come off of his line for didn't count as saves, but the Eagles definitely made him work in the first half, and they're going to make him work again as they play a ball into the box, but it's collected pretty safely by Geyer. And they're just going to take it up from the back again. Oh, that's a nice little sitting off. And now Sam Blackman's got a head full of steam, and he's going to run to the Eagles' goal, and they're not going to call a penalty once again. Wow, Scout Monteith made a hard tackle on him, and he went down in the box, but I guess they're going to say he got all ball, and it's going to be no penalty. It's reminiscent of those 2 in the first half where Zavante Wilson was knocked down and didn't get the call. I guess the Rushers are just going to try to let the players on the field determine it, and they don't want to see too many penalties. As Nathan Regis takes the ball into the left corner and finds Amas Amancona at the top of the box, and he takes his time and finds Jared Odenbeck, whose shot goes right back to Amancona, and they're going to call offsides on Nathan Regis. That was a creative play by Amas Amancona trying to get Nathan Regis involved, who would have been able to ping it into the dangerous area. But he was just on offsides position, and it's going to be, once again, a Kings Warriors ball. And Sam Blackman comes back for it again. Sam showed off his speed on that last play, burning through the Eagles defense. Which has got a lot of athleticism on it. As the Eagles get a ball, or the Kings Warriors get a ball in, but Lalas Abubakar is once again there, and they're going to call a foul on number 25, Brian Enrique, who went up for a ball but knocked Mason McCarter onto the ground, and now it's going to be Eagles ball as Odenbeck finds Regis, but they're not able to do anything with it, and it's once again Kings Warriors ball. As Josh Bender has it in that holding midfield position, and he gets the ball again and turns, and he's going to try to run at the Eagles and finds a wall, and it's Bender again, and he looks like he's trying to get forward a bit more than he did in the first half. In the first half, he definitely back four, and he's done a good job defensively, and now I think he's trying to force the issue on the Eagles, but now it's Daniel Timbosh who's running at the Kings Warriors, and forced a good tackle from Jordan Malia. But that was definitely a dangerous run there from Daniel Timbosh, who turned on the Jets there as he was trying to get the Eagles their first goal of the game. And Lalas Abubakar is able to get the ball for the Eagles and plays it out to the left, and the Eagles retain possession as Yearwood and Jensen and Odenbeck form a triangle and pass it around. And now it's Amankona playing in that more advanced role, and he's going to make another run. He's dangerous in this half, and he's got a little bit of time and forces a good tackle from number 24, Javon Toledo, and they're going to call a foul there on Kyle Culbertson, and I think that was on Kyle Culbertson, and Kings Warriors seem to be pretty upset about that, but they're not going to call it. They are going to give him a card. I think a yellow card for Kyle Culbertson for that hard challenge on Sam Blackman. So that's a second Eagle in the books. So Toledo's just going to take a free kick from right on top of that Queens Lion. As the ref writes Culbertson's name in the books. This is the first time all season that the Eagles have gone this far into a game without getting a goal. They've been very potent on offense so far this season. And that's not going to go for anything, but it looks like Daniel Timbosh is going to try to counter, and he plays a great ball to Nathan Regis, who's got a one-on-one with the keeper, and that's the first goal of the Eagles. Nathan Regis beats the keeper beats Alex Geyer on a one-on-one off of a great ball from Daniel Timbosh. Timbosh found Nathan Regis, who hasn't had much of the ball so far today. He found him on a very nice counterattack and played it right into the found him right above the penalty box on the right side, and it was a one-on-one, and Regis took a touch or two and then just tucked it away in the bottom left corner to put the Eagles on top of the Kings Warriors. That was an excellent ball from Timbosh. It's I think his third season, and a really nice one at that. But it's definitely a classy finish from Regis, who is far and away the Eagles' leading goal scorer. And we see why with a finish like that. And it's definitely a good run by him too, just sneaking behind the Kings Warriors defense, which had been advanced, trying to attack as that ball goes out for a throw, and it banged off the corner flag, but went on the other side, so it's going to be a throw-in. And the Kings Warriors, who came out really defensively in the first half, have been trying to be more offensive in the second half, and that may be why the Eagles were able to turn it around on them so quickly on that counterattack. And here's going to be another one, I think, as Amankona plays it to Danny Jensen, who is able to get it past number 20 for the Kings Warriors, but they are able to knock it away. And Regis almost took it away from Geyer to try to get his second goal, but Geyer just got it out And that's going to go out for an Eagles throw-in. Nathan Regis, who plays for Pfeiffer University, is from the Trinidad and Tobago and has had a great season for the Eagles so far, starting at that number 9 position. Is Amas Amankona dribbles it in and takes a left-footed shot, but it's going to go high and wide to the left. But he's definitely been a lot more dangerous here in the second half and has created a lot of problems for the Kings Warriors defense. He's a versatile player. He can kind of play in that holding midfield role like he did in the first half, and despite his size, does a good job defensively and linking the defense to the attack. But here in the second half, he's been a really dangerous player at that attacking midfield role. He was all-conference for Dayton this year as he's approaching his junior year for the Flyers. And it's going to be Scout Monteith who plays it back to Will Pyle. And they're going to pressure hard, and that was not a great touch by Pyle, but he's able to get it away. And it's going to go out for a Kings Warriors throw after Austin Yearwood cleared it away. It's dangerous there for the Eagles as they almost had a back pass catastrophe, but they were able to get it away. And now it's Will Wall holding up the ball, and he's going to turn and try to do some fancy footwork, but Austin Yearwood is able to keep him in front of him and dispossess him. And the Kings Warriors retain. They've got a guy coming in, but it's going to be Kyle Culbertson getting there, and he's going to try to get it away. Now that they're down 1-0, I think the Kings Warriors are definitely trying to force the issue and play a lot more of an attacking game than they did in the first half. So I expect the second half to open up a lot more, as we've seen with that first goal, especially now that it's 1-0 and legs start to get tired as we move through the second half, and that's going to be a foul against the Kings Warriors. And Daniel Timbosh, plays it pretty quickly, but I think they're going to bring it back. They're going to say that he played it from too far of the field, so they're going to slow it down now. And Kyle Culbertson might try to play a lofted ball into a dangerous area. And Culbertson plays it up to Nathan Regis, who heads it and is able to turn on it, but it's knocked away by Toledo. But Tim Bosch retains it, and he's going to – he tried to play a ball into Mason McCarter. That would have been a dangerous ball if it had been a little bit further in, but it goes out for a goal kick once again. And I think the Kings Warriors are going to use their first substitution, and they're going to bring in number 13, James Tugba, to take the place of striker Oyinka Lawal, who had a good first half. And I think they're just hoping that Tugba can bring a little bit of energy to that front line for the Kings Warriors and maybe get them an equalizer. Physical play here, and Amasa Mancona is able to dispossess Bender. And the Kings Warriors are definitely pressing a lot harder than they did in the first half. They really want that equalizer. They want that equalizer, and they want it quickly. But the Eagles are able to swing it around the back, and Jared Odenbeck sometimes almost becomes like a fifth defender, especially when the Eagles push up with their outside backs. It's a style used by Barcelona a lot, kind of playing that Sergio Busquets role. And Nathan Regis is going to try to dispossess Toledo, but the Kings Warriors are able to knock it back to Alex Geyer, and Bender plays a nice heel pass to Tugba, the substitute, and Tugba's going to take it up the left end, but Culbertson was able to knock it out for a throw-in. Some physical but fair play by Culbertson, as the Kings Warriors are able to find McKenna, and McKenna plays it to Blackman, who's going to run at the Eagles' defense, and he plays it. And Blackman might have a chance here, but it's a good tackle by Abubakar, and it's going to force a corner. It's a good sliding tackle in the box. Dangerous in most cases, but Abubakar looked like he knew what he was doing there, and a corner kick. It was a very clean tackle. But Blackman has been very dangerous this entire game, and especially here in the second half. He almost scored in the first half, and we can see now why he is the Kings Warriors leading goal scorer. As the corner kick goes away, as Abubakar, I think, got a head on it, and Blackman on the ball again. He's going to dribble it towards the sideline, and he's going to try to get around. I think that might be McCarter, and I think they're gonna call a foul on Blackman. And there's gonna be another substitution, and this time it's for the Eagles. And Daniel Timbosh is going to come off and make way for Wilfred Williams, who is gonna play on that left wing position. Timbosh had a good game, including a really nice assist to Nathan Regis for that opening goal of the game. Wilfred Williams has been a good substitute option for the Eagles so far, and we'll see if he can get his first goal of the season tonight. Williams gets one of his first touch of the game and puts it back to Austin Yearwood, and it's back to Wilfred Williams. And Mason McCarter is getting really far up in that right back position. I suppose now that he knows that Jared Odenbeck is back there to cover for him on every time the Eagles are trying to get their outside backs involved into the attack, and that could prove dangerous as the Kings Warriors try to keep a clean sheet for the rest of the game and get a goal to tie it. And Sam Blackman's gonna win this ball out of the air, and he's getting a lot of pressure from the Eagles' front line from Nathan Regis and Kyle Culbertson, who's getting into the attack there. But the Kings Warriors are able to swing it around, and they're going to play a lofted ball up, but Alice Abubakar is able to get there. The Kings Warriors definitely challenge every ball. They'll play a lot of high balls, knowing that they're going to be a header, and they try to get onto the rebound and make something happen from there. They're very persistent in their pursuit of every single ball, and I think that's posed some problems for the Eagles, but they still haven't been able to put a ball in the back of the net yet. But they're getting numbers forward here. And it looks like Costa here, and the Eagles are able to get it away. And Wilfred Williams is going to try to keep it in, and he does, and it's going to be out for an Eagles throw. Williams did a good job to keep that ball in because that would have been a dangerous place for a throw-in for the Kings Warriors, and he knocked it off of the Kings Warriors defender, and it's going to be an Eagles throw. Abubakar plays it over to Scout Monteith, the center back pair. And McCarter plays it up to Jensen, and it's going to be a 1-2 with Amankona straight to the Kings Warrior defender, Toledo. So it looks like the Kings Warriors may have transitioned to a bit of a 4-2-3-1. They're definitely playing the substitute Tugboat on the left, whereas Wall was playing up top, but that might be Enrique to move into the attacking role, that center striker role, that is. And they're going to play out Mancona up the right side, and the Eagles are getting numbers here. McCarter's trying to overlap, but that went off of Havan Toledo, and it's going to be a throw-in. Looked like it went off his shoulder, but not quite to the point that it would be a handball. And they play it back to Monteith, who just plays it safely to his center back partner, Wallace Abubakar. And Jared Ovenbeck takes it and plays it to Abubakar. And Monteith has all the time in the world and plays it to Amankona, who heads it right to Mason McCarter, but it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw. a hard tackle from McCarter, and they're going to call a foul on that. So it's going to be a free kick from over on the left side, and this is a dangerous spot for the Kings Warriors to try to swing one into the box and see if they can get a header or something on the ball off the set piece and tie it up. Set pieces can definitely be really dangerous, especially in a game like this that has been kind of slow. So it looks like they're going to have number 26, Costa, take the set piece and swing it with his left foot. And he plays it, and it's a good ball. And it goes over and almost a goal. One of the Kings Warriors attackers got a foot on it, but it is shot wide right. Went over the majority of the Eagles defenders back there, and just a good ball to the back. The Kings Warriors weren't able to make anything of it, and the Eagles survived that one again. And it's Wilford Williams now who turns on the Jets, and he's gonna fall, and they're gonna not call that one. I think Bender might have gotten a shoulder on him, but it looked like a pretty clean play. And now Tugba is gonna take it, and Jensen knocks him off the ball, but he retains it, and it's a good battle between Jensen and Tugba, and they're gonna call a foul on Jensen there as Tugba was trying to cut it in, and Jensen just caught his ankle with his foot, and it's going to be another free kick from almost the same spot as before, a little bit more central and maybe a little bit further back, but still should be a pretty dangerous spot for Costa to swing one in. It was a really good ball that he played on that last one, and the Kings Warriors have a guy overlapping to the left, which is going to draw Danny Jensen with him, and that might just free him up. And it's a good ball once again. And Lawless Abubakar climbed the ladder there and got a header there. And it's going to be a counterattack here as Austin Yearwood comes up from defense, and he's going to play a ball to Nathan Regis. That's a really nice ball. And let's see if the Eagles can get some numbers in the box. It's to Danny Jensen, who takes a touch and plays it to Wilford Williams, but he's dispossessed by Josh Bender. And that's Tugba, actually, and Tugba's going to bring it in to the Eagles half, and he plays it to Brun Enrique. It's a good battle between Mason McCarter and Enrique there. Ref didn't blow the whistle, and it's Tugba who plays it in, but there's no Kings Warriors there. And Austin Year was able to settle it pretty easily and get it away to Wilford Williams. Tugba has been good for the Kings Warriors so far since subbing on earlier in the second half for Lawal, and he's been dangerous down that left flank and has even come back a couple times and played good defense and averted some problems for the Kings Warriors. And I guess his fresh legs have been have made a good impact on the Kings Warriors as they're trying to tie this one up. And Odenbeck is going to find Jensen out on the right. And Kyle Culbertson has possession of the ball now. And finds Danny Jensen, who gets a head on it, but it goes right back to the Kings Warriors defender. And Toledo was able to shrug off Nathan Regis there and keep possession. And that's going to be a lofted ball up towards Enrique, I want to say. Yep. And he's going to try to take on Abubakar, and he knocks it past him, but right to Scout Monteith. It was a good cover by Monteith there, and Lawless was able to just keep him in front of him, and they got possession back. And now it's Wilford Williams, who's seen a lot of the ball since coming on earlier in the half, but his pass is going to be dispossessed, and Sam Blackman and Williams had a good battle for it there, and Wilford Williams was able to keep possession for the Eagles. And now it's Jared Odenbeck finding Nathan Regis. And Regis just passes it back to Odenbeck, and they're just going to keep possession. And now it's going to be Amas Amankona, who tried to find Mason McCarter out on the right and just played a lofted ball a little bit too high for McCarter to get onto, and it's going to go out. McCarter didn't start for the Eagles at the beginning of the season, but after Noah Kimball got a red card in their second game and had to serve a suspension, Mason McCarter had an opportunity to get into the and has played really well at that right back position for the Eagles since entering the starting lineup, and tonight has been really dangerous not only as a defender but getting forward into the Eagles' attack as Jordan Malia is able to head that one out of bounds as Nathan Regis was trying to get a second goal there. And Wilfred Williams is going to throw it in and finds Jared Odenbeck. Earlier this week, the Charlotte Independents, the Eagles' counterpart in Charlotte, had a huge win in the U.S. Open Cup, knocking off New England Revolution and making their way into the final 16 of the U.S. Open Cup. They're the only USL team at that level, at that stage. As they beat the Revolution 3-1, and Enrique is going to try to play it in, and now it's Josh Benyard. Wow, that was Tugboat with a really nice left-footed shot, and I'm not sure if that would have been on frame, but Lalas Abubakar was able to get a foot there and knocked it out for a corner kick. He put a lot behind that one, and he was pretty far out. Oh, and that would have given Pyle a lot of issues if it had gotten past Abubakar there. But it's going to be a corner for Warriors, and they play it in high, but Abubakar was there. It's one of the problems with trying to play a high corner against this Eagles backline is that not only is Scout Monteith and Jared Odenbeck good in the air, but Lalas Abubakar is able to get to almost everything up there. He's only about 6'1", but he plays a lot taller than that and is able to get to a lot of those aerial balls, which when you're having a hard time getting balls in on crosses, it's hard to get a goal, especially when you're trying to get an equalizer. And Sam Blackman's going to possess the ball, and he's going to try to beat William Pyle from way out, about 25 yards out, in fact, and just sails it over the crossbar. So William Pyle's going to have another goal kick. Pyle's looked really steady and solid for the Eagles so far in goal. For a number 2 keeper, he's done a really good job, and it's good to have depth at that position. As I'm sure he would have started for a lot of these BDL teams. And Nathan Regis almost got a second goal there, but forced Alex Geyer to come out and collect it after a pretty dangerous back pass from his right back. I'm sorry, that was Wilfred Williams that almost got onto that with a quick burst of speed. But Will Pyle would probably be able to start in goal for a lot of these PDL teams, but wanted to stay home in Charlotte and play with his brother James Pyle, who's done a really good job as a starter for the Eagles. And Mason McCarter's able to clear that one out. And Wilfred Williams always looks anxious to turn these defensive series into counterattacks and force the Kings Warriors. Oh, and that's a really wow. Are they going to call it offsides? Was that? So really nice kind of scissor kick. I think they call it it's a very nice scissor kick by may have been Enrique, and it beat Will Pyle, but I think Pyle may have seen the handball or seen the flag go up. But that was one of the best chances that the Kings Warriors have had all night, as Pyle plays a goal kick into Kings Warriors territory, and Culbertson plays a lofted ball over to Jensen, but it's out again for a throw-in. Kings Warriors, despite giving up that early second half goal, have looked pretty solid in the back. Their back four has. They're very stout in the first half, not giving the Eagles really anywhere to breathe when they're in the final third, which definitely makes it a lot tougher to settle into the game and get a goal. And Odenbeck plays Austin Yearwood, who's always comfortable with the ball in his feet, even in the final third, despite being a left back. But it's going to go out for a goal kick. And the Charlotte Eagles are going to bring on another sub, and that's going to be Connor Gilmore coming on at striker for Nathan Regis, who got the go-ahead goal for the Eagles early in the second half. It was a good night's work for Regis, despite not being able to see much of the ball in the first half. The Kings Warriors definitely keyed on him in the first half, but he was able to get that goal in about the 56th minute. But Connor Gilmore is going to replace him here and get some of his first real minutes of the season. He, I think, won in for 1 minute against Carolina earlier, but he'll have time to really make his impact onto the game. And Danny Jensen is trying to make something happen, but he's got two defenders on him. And he brings it into the corner and plays a good ball, but Connor Gilmore wasn't able to quite get there. I think he had a Kings Warrior defender shielding him off, but that was very dangerous by Danny Jensen. He's always active and always coming out of nowhere to create problems for the opposing back four. And the Kings Warriors tried to make something happen, but played it pretty safely into Scout Monteith. Culbertson able to find Connor Gilmore tracking back there, and now it looks like the Eagles might be on the attack as Odenbeck is able to find Culbertson, and the Eagles are going to try to get numbers up here. And Culbertson's going to play it to Wilford Williams, who's got it on the right, and try to play Gilmore. And Amankona gets the ball, and he takes a shot, but it's going to go out to the left for a goal kick. Connor Gilmore has been really active since coming on. He is playing that center striker role, but he's definitely kind of glided from the left side of the field to the right side of the field, and he's just trying to, poach and get a goal. He's using those fresh legs pretty well, and that's a really nice ball from Wilford Williams trying to find Gilmore, and he did, but it's dispossessed, and Toledo's able to clear it out for an Eagles throw-in. Wilford Williams takes a left-footed shot, but it takes a deflection and goes back to the Kings Warriors. And now Amankona's on the ball. And he thought Jared Odenbeck was coming to it, but it seemed to be a bit of a miscommunication. And now the Kings Warriors have it. And Tugba, they're not going to call that a foul, and it's going to go out for a throw. And I think Tugba was trying to kind of force a call from the ref there, but Mason McCarter played clean defense, and it's going to be a throw-in. And Connor Gilmore's trying to poke it on past Toledo, but unsuccessfully. Jordan Malias looked very steady back there for the Kings Warriors in that center back spot, and has kind of saved them on a couple occasions, but definitely has looked like a rock back there and has done well passing as well. And they're going to knock one into the box, and Abu Bakr was able to once again get up and head that away. I don't know if Pyle would have gotten there. And that's Mason McCarter, and Tugman tried to play it in, but Odenbeck got to it, but it didn't really go very far, but now it's going to be cleared by Amasa Mancona. But the Kings Warriors are definitely getting numbers up here. I think they know they need a goal pretty late in the game. It's the 83rd minute, so we're definitely going to see them pull out all the stops and try to get that equalizer. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. It took a couple deflections, but it went in the net. And I think they're going to give the credit to Enrique. So that'll tie it up at 1-1. And the Eagles' back lines looked really good tonight, but that ball just took a deflection or two. It was a well-struck ball, and Pyle, I think, just wasn't able to react in time because it took a deflection and kind of changed the path of that ball and caught the keeper off balance. So the Kings Warriors, after trailing for the most of this half, were able to find the equalizer there. So this might This might be the first time all season that the Eagles have to settle for 1 point. They're 6-0 in their first season in the PDL, and it looks like there's going to be is there going to be another sub? So it looks like a man down for the Kings Warriors over on the left. It might be cramping. I think there are going to be substitutes for both teams. So Logan Hellinghausen is going to come in for the Kings Warriors, and Hayden Partain is going to come on for the Charlotte Eagles, and he's going to replace Danny Jensen. And he's probably going to play at that right forward position and try to force some issues on the Kings Warriors and try to get a late game winner. Partain has 1 goal on the season and got a penalty kick scored on a penalty in the first game of the year against South Carolina. Plays his college soccer at Wake Forest. Versatile player that can play midfield or forward, so they're going to use him out wide tonight. There's a lot of confusion here on the sidelines as to whether or not that was counting as a goal or what just happened there, but it was a goal, and it was a clean goal, although a little bit fluky, maybe one would say. And so the Eagles are going to have to work hard to get a goal in the last 5 minutes of regulation here if they want to get out of the points. I think the Kings Warriors would probably tie here, although the Eagles would maintain their 8-point lead on the division, which I think if you told them at the beginning of the year they would have an 8-point cushion on the South Atlantic Division, they'd be pretty happy, but I think they'd rather extend that to 11 points or maybe 10 if things go differently tonight. And Jared Odenbeck finds Partain there, and he wanted a foul, but I think they gave advantage for the Eagles, and now it's Kyle Culbertson on the ball, and Culbertson finds Wilfred Williams, who snuck behind the Kings Warriors defense, and all of them went on offsides, but he was definitely onside over there on the left, and that was just a really well-timed run and a good ball. But the Kings Warriors were able to snatch it back up and maintain possession. It looks like the Eagles are responding to that goal, and rather than hanging their heads, they're going to try hard to get a goal in the last 5 minutes here. The tie wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for them, but they definitely want to win, as maybe Culbertson got a little antsy there and tried to take a long shot with his left foot that went wide right. And there's going to be another sub as Bruno Enrique comes off, and it's going to be Kirby Robbins who comes in for the Kings Warriors. I think Enrique may have been credited for the first goal. And Wilfred Williams is going to carry the ball and pass it over to Kyle Culbertson on the left side. And Culbertson's going to play it in with his left foot. And let's see if Partain can get onto that. He's not able to. He dove for it, but it's good defense by the Kings Warriors, and they're able to knock it away. And I think they would be pretty content with a tie here, as no team has been able to even get a point off of the Eagles all year. The teams will play 2 more times this year, so I think the Kings Warriors know that they'll have a chance to close that gap, that 8-point gap that they have behind the Eagles, and they'll get a shot at them, I think 2 shots at them on their home field back in West Virginia, and that might be an easier chance for them to defeat the Eagles, and I think tonight they'd be pretty happy with a tie. But the Eagles aren't going to give up quite yet. It looks like maybe Kyle Culbertson's down on the ground, and he took a hard tackle there. I don't think they called any foul, but it looks like he's grabbing his ankle, and the Eagles might have to make another substitution. I think they have 1 or 2 left. Culberson's still down. But it looks like he's going to try to tough it out and keep playing. He's played very well for the Eagles so far in that center mid role. I wonder if that has anything to do with the injury he suffered earlier this year. And Austin Yu was going to play it in with his left foot. And let's see if oh, wow, good play by Alex Geyer getting a hand to it. Hayden Partain rose up pretty high and was trying to get a goal. And Mason McCarter now plays to Gilbert. Oh, wow, good play by Connor Gilmore playing it with his back heel to Amas Amankona and puts the shot on frame. But Alex Geyer is able to shuffle to his right and make a diving save and hold on and recover the rebound. And it's going to remain 1-1 right now. Good save by Geyer, but really creative play by Connor Gilmore up at that striker position, and he almost got an assist on the equalizer there, or on the go-ahead goal. Several headers in a row here. Now Hayden Partain's going to run at the Kings Warriors defense, and let's see if the Eagles can get numbers up. But he loses it, and they're going to call a foul on Hayden Partain. I think Wilfred Williams would have had a good shot to maybe put one on frame there, but they call a foul on Hayden Partain. Kings Warriors are going to take it up the right flank and try to possess it. And a good ball over to number 20, Ben Claris on the left, who's going to play it in with his left foot, and Abu Bakar is there once again for the Eagles. Knocks it away. And now Hayden Partain, whose work rate has been excellent so far for the Eagles tonight, and they just announced that it's going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time. 4 minutes. So let's see if the Eagles can use that time to get a goal here in the waning minutes of the game. The fans are getting really into it, starting a stomp clap to the tune of "We Will Rock You." And they're going to play it in. That was Connor Gilmore, I think. And Connor Gilmore's going to try to play one in. He saves it. Oh, I think they're going to call it a goal kick there. No, they're going to call offsides on Connor Gilmore. And the goal kick from Geyer. He's hit all of his goal kicks pretty well tonight. And Amankona was trying to turn with it, but took a bit of too big of a touch. And now they're going to call a foul on Sam Blackman. And the Eagles are going to have a free kick from right around midfield. And let's see if they can knock it into the dangerous area. They're going to push up Los Abubakar, who has 2 goals on the season, and I think an assist, which is very good for a center back. It's definitely an aerial threat there in the box, and let's see if putting him up there is going to help him get a goal. And Odenbeck drives it high into the box, and Abubakar was trying to get on top of it. The Warriors defenders there, and they're going to try to counter. And Sam Blackman plays a ball over to the left and finds number 20, who's going to the side and get past Mason McCarter. Let's see if he can drive in with his left foot. Mason McCarter gets there, and it's going to be a corner kick for the Kings Warriors. That was number 20, Ben Claris, who made a really nice play and turned on the jets there and got past Mason McCarter, but McCarter caught up to him and was able to clear away to safety. And this might be the last chance for the Kings Warriors to get that coveted 3 points against the Eagles, which would put them within 5 in the standings. They've got 2 guys lined up right next to the ball on the corner flag. I wonder if they're going to try something tricky here, but they're not. They're just going to drive it in, and Los Abubakar once again gets ahead to it. Oh, they're able to find a man on the right side, and he plays it in to, that might be, put it in McKenna, but McKenna just played it back out to the that one snuck in. Will Pyle was right on it and got there to collect it before the Kings Warriors attacker could get a foot on it. That was a dangerous ball in. took a bounce or two in the box, and when that happens, there's always room for a goal to occur. But the Eagles were able to get rid of it thanks to Will Pyle. And the Kings Warriors are going to play a high ball, and they have it now at the right side of the box near the top of the box. And they're going to take a shot from wide, but it's going to go high and wide. And now Will Pyle's going to hit it away. I think they may have added a little bit of stoppage time in addition to that 4 minutes. I would imagine one in the last minute or two, though. There's the final whistle. It's going to be a 1-1 draw here at Dixon Field. After a scoreless first half, Charlotte Eagles got on the board in the 56th minute with Nathan Regis' goal off of a Daniel Timbosh assist and held that lead for most of the second half. But the Kings Warriors got a late goal in the 82nd minute and were able to tie it at 1-1, and that's how it's going to end. So the Eagles are going to retain their spot in first place with 19 points in this, and the Kings Warriors now have 11 points, which I believe will keep them in second unless they're jumped in the next day or two. The Kings Warriors and the Eagles have 2 more games against each other, so the Kings Warriors will have another couple cracks and see if they can shorten that margin. But a good performance by the Kings Warriors, especially defensively tonight. They had that one slip up on the counterattack, but definitely posed a lot of problems for the Eagles, who were trying to get numbers up, but were not able to. But the Kings Warriors had a hard time getting anything going offensively, as Los Abubakar was a rock in the back, and they just announced him as the player of the game. The Powerade player of the game goes to Los Abubakar, who won a lot of balls in the air and did a good job passing the ball as well. So he's going to pick out the player of the game, and very well deserved. Although one could argue that Nathan Regis and Daniel Timbosh were almost just as valuable because they combined for that goal. So the Eagles are going to have their first tie of the season after 6 wins, and will go to 6-0-1 after a hard-fought game against the Kings Warriors. Until next time, thank you for watching.